Hello everyone, it's Niven, and today I am making CopperCube 6 tutorial video. CopperCube 6 is a game engine which is available for free. Link is in the description, you can download it and follow along. Today I will be talking about publishing, what type of platforms you can publish using CopperCube 6, and how to do so. First of all, I say this at the beginning of every tutorial. We have 5 main windows, which we must not forget. We have Scene Graph Explorer, we have properties. Now I changed those two for some reason. We have prefabs and we have textures, and the main window, which is right here. Now, if we were to make a game, how would we publish the game? For example, let's delete this cube. Let's add some arcane house. Let's add some terrain, default terrain. Let's click OK. Now we cannot see the house. We go to Scene Graph Explorer. We go to terrain and we minimize terrain by clicking on minus. We go to arcane house and we move it up a little bit like this, and as you can see we have the small scene. Now we add an animated sleepwalker. We push him down, let's say closer to this scene, just making a couple of adjustments, and then we add a camera. We will add a simple camera at this point, and if we go to publish, and as you can see we have this kind of small scene. Now we can of course delete this camera and add the 3D camera, third person, okay, and if we click publish we will have a game like this with some simple guy. Hey, he just walks by himself, he needs some sleep as you can see, and we have a house. So now we want to publish this game, this small kind of sample of the game. What do we do? Now if we click on this, it says publish and test the application. We can do so, or we can go to file, publish, and we can do test as Windows application, and if we click on it, it's gonna test the Windows application. And as you can see we have the same play button right here like this. Now, first of all, before publishing a game, we need to save the game in a special directory where all our files are. Now, that's very important. You have to go File, Save As, and save as a project in order to publish the game. Now, I'm gonna save this real quick. And as you can see, I saved the project on my Windows table. This is my Windows table. I'm not showing my PC, of course, but I'm showing the project, and this is the project which I saved. And now let's go back to CopperCube. We can go back to CopperCube, and now what we have and can do is publish the game. So how do we do that? So we go to publishing, as you can see, and we click on whatever we want to publish. Do we want to publish as web gaming? Do we want to publish as macOS or Android? Now for the Android, I'm not going to be talking about this right now. We will be only talking about Windows, web, and macOS. Now what we need to do is we need to go to publishing settings, and then we have the small window. Now it says the general information about the game. We can have application title, in this case project 1, show frames per second counter. This is just in case, oh I'm sorry, just missed that, project like this, project, yeah, this is right. So this is just in case if you want to showcase if the game is running smoothly or not. I don't usually use this because it will just cancel the immersion for the game, so showing the FPS counter is not really a good thing to do. Now loading screen text. Now this is on default, it says loading and progress. We can add something like loading project 1 by Niven, and then we can add loading screen background color. We can add any color we want. For example, let's add green color, and now if we click OK, if we play test it, see, you guys saw this? Yeah, it said project by Niven, and we go back to publishing settings. Now you can kind of add your own custom file or have no image. But when we click on that, as you can see, it says feature not available, sorry, changing the loading screen image is only possible in the professional or studio edition. You can buy it, support the development of Coppercube. Of course, you can do this just in case if you want to buy a full version, and you can have your own custom logo. Now we go to WebGL. We have the canvas width and height, as you can see, and if you want to use a full web page, and how many frames per second should the game be, let's say 120, or we can say 60, and update mode every frame, only when camera moved, that's very important, and all the other options. Now we go to windows.exe, which is the basic one and the default one which we want to use. Now you have many choices here which you have to be careful to choose. First of all, we have dynamic resizable, and we have exclusive fixed size. Now if you click on exclusive fixed size, on some let's say computers, the sizes change depending on, for example, if the player is trying to record the game, I'm talking about YouTubers who record game playthroughs, and for them you would probably need to have dynamic resizable. So the most efficient method to use window mode would be dynamic resizable, because if you do exclusive fixed size, the size will stay always this way, and it would not change. So let's say dynamic resizable. We can have 190/20 to 1080. Now 3D video driver, unfortunately we have only two types. We have direct 3D and OpenGL. We choose OpenGL. Now 110 frames per second, we can have 120, and the new update for Coppercube 6 you can have 210, I think. Icon file, that's very important. If you have your icon file, you can specify which file to use for the game I showed you for the saved project, and you can have color depth, which is 32-bit. It doesn't have 64. You can have a full screen. Maximize button means full screen. Yes. Then you can have vertical synchronization, yes. Anti-alias, yes. And now we have this little option which I haven't talked about. We have only collision on physics simulation. Now Coppercube 6 cannot do physics simulation with only collision, so that's why you have to be careful to click on the right choice if you want to only collision on physics simulation. I usually do only collision because I don't have physics simulations in my game. And then we click OK, and now if we click on publish, and you can see it works perfectly. We can see the guy, we can jump, and it works. Everything is neat. Now we click on escape, and the last thing I want to go over publishing is of course Mac OS app, which kind of is the same. You have to set your Windows resolution, color depth, which is 32 frames per second, which we can do to 10. Of course, full screen, use a desktop resolution for full screen. Now that's optional, and you can and should choose that. Vertical synchronization, anti-alias, and physics simulation, only collision. Basically, Mac OS and Windows EXE publishing is basically the same. And then we have Android publishing, which is very different and which I won't be talking about in this tutorial. Now if we click on OK, and now we can go to File and Publish. Now we can test a Windows application as EXE, or we can publish this Windows application EXE. We should do Publish, and if we click on that, as you can see, it published a file has been published successfully as C user desktop project EXE. Let's click OK, and now we will see what type of file it published. And as you can see on my Windows desktop, we have project file for Coppercube, and we have the project game.exe file, which can be opened with any platforms, Windows, not Mac OS of course, but Windows on any computer. Now, as I said, you can see that the picture is kind of, a basic that Windows tab look like. You can have your own custom image, but it's important that you publish your project project sample and you publish your game in the same folder, and you specify the picture which you want to publish the game with, being in the same folder. Basically, put the picture in the same folder with all this, and of course, when you want to kind of do publish the game on the side, you can always use .rar format, and you don't need to use this anymore. You can shift delete this. It's no problem, and you can just have this project, and we will open this project right now just to test it out. And as you can see, it's opening, and we have our project, and this looks pretty great. Now, of course, the frame rate drops and the lag will appear if you have a full game. There are other optimization systems which you will be needing to apply when you are publishing your game. But this was just a tutorial for publishing games, and that's it. Now I cannot escape this, of course, because by default you cannot press escape and the game won't close by itself. And that was it for today's tutorial. Thanks everyone for watching this. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll be leaving a link to CopperCube 6 as always. And towards the end, I want to say that everything that you can create depends on your own personal preference. You have to research the game before making it, and you have to specify in your own mind what do you want to do with the game before publishing, and what platforms do you want to make games with. For example, some people use CopperCube 6 for the Android games, and they use it sometimes for macOS. It's very easy to publish games with CopperCube 6 on Windows and macOS platforms, but you can use Android. For the Android, I might be making another tutorial just specifically for Android. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching once again, and have a wonderful day.